So, can you remember that theme song? I think you know what I just did. It's today's Wide World of Game Shows episode, and it's on the game where you get ready to match the stars, celebrities, to you, of course. Here's comes the one and only match game. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews presents Wide World of Game Shows! Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. This is the Wide World of Game Shows. I'm Joel, better known to you as the Big D. So today's game on the Wide World of Game Shows is a game that is exceptionally very funny. And while its more recent incarnation just happened to have just gotten cancelled, which I'll get to that later on, this show will still remain one of the, if not the most hysterical shows of a game there ever was. I want to have lots of celebrities as well. No, I'm not talking about To Tell the Truth, not talking about some other type of show. I'm talking the one, the only Match Game. That's right, a Match Game. Where it has been, can you believe it, 60 years now since this first came out. Well, it's been almost 60 years because it came out in December of 1962 on New Year's Eve. Anyway, it's a panel game show that originally premiered on NBC and has been revived several times over the course of the last 6 decades. The game features contestants trying to match answers given by celebrity panelists to fill in the blank questions. And beginning with the first revival run on CBS in the 1970s, the questions are often formed as humorous double entendres. Entendres, or how do you pronounce that? I apologize if I mispronounced it. The show, which was originally produced by Mark Goodson, Bill Todman Productions, along with several other companies. Anyway, the show was absolutely funny. Now, the original version of this was called The Match Game. It ran on NBC from 62 to 69. The show was hosted by Gene Rayburn, and Johnny Olsen served as the announcer. Now, originally there were celebrity panelists, 2 of them. Now, the show was taped in Studio 8H at 30 Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. Let's see. The show originally aired in black and white and moved to color about a half a year later, the following year in June of 63. A team scored 25 points if 2 teammates matched answers, or 50 points if all 3 contestants matched. And so the first team to score 100 points won $100 and play the audience match, which featured 3 survey questions, some of which, especially after 63, featured a numeric answer format. We surveyed 50 women and asked them how much they should spend on a hat, which of course was later used for Family Feud and Card Sharks. Each contestant who agreed with the most popular answer to a question earned the team $50 for a possible total of $450. Now, the questions used in the game were pedestrian of nature. Name a kind of muffin, or write down one of the words to row, row, row your boat other than row your boat, or John loves his blank. Anyway, still, the show did pretty well, and then it ended in September of 1969. Now, very few episodes of the 60 series survive, so it's very rare to find this. 4 years later, in 1973, the show was back again, and this time on CBS, when Fred Silverman, who was the vice president of the network at the time, began overhauling the network's programming as part of what became known as the Rural Purge. As part of this overhaul, the network reintroduced game shows. One of them was The Price is Right, as a matter of fact. Yes, which was, of course, the radically overhauled version of the 1950s game show of The Price is Right. And so, with the success of that, prompted Silverman to commission more game shows. So, Goodson and Todman took a similar approach in adapting Match Game by reworking the show, moving to LA, adding more celebrities, and increasing the amount of prize money that could be won. It was this show, along with the Bob Stewart produced games, the $10,000 Pyramid, 3-on Match, and Jackpot, that reintroduced five-figure payouts for the first time since the quiz show scandals of the late 1950s. Anyway, Gene Rayburn returned as the host, and Johnny Olson returned as the announcer. The gameplay for this version had two solo contestants attempting to match the answers given by a 6-celebrity panel. Richard Dawson, who before he started hosting Family Feud, and even though he was actually already big on Hogan's Heroes, became the first regular panelist. Now, it was originally to come out on June 25th, but due to the Watergate hearings on CBS News, the network delayed it to the next week. The first week's panelists were Dawson, along with Michael Landon, Vicki Lawrence, Jack Klugman, Joanne Flug, and Ania Gillette. Most of them were actually regular viewers. Well, not viewers, but mostly original panelists. There had been several others as well, including, Bob Barker, who was hosting The New Price is Right, as well as Bert Convy, who would later go on to host Tattletales, which eventually came on after Match Game when it came out in 1974. If I remember correctly. Yes. Yeah, because I did my resource. Now, among the two, aside from Richard Dawson and even Vicki Lawrence and several others, there would also be other big celebrities that appeared numerous times, including Betty White, Dick Martin, Marcia Wallace, Bill Daly, McLean Stevenson, Fannie Flagg, Elaine Joyce, Sarah Kennedy, Patty Douche, Mary Wicks, Joyce Bulliphant, even Whispering Bill Anderson, who of course would later be one of the hosts of the underrated Goodson Todman produced show The Better Sex in 1977. But the two big names on there were Brett Summers, who was actually married to Jack Klugman, and funny guy Charles Nelson Riley. Yes. And soon, Summers brought in at the request of Klugman, who felt she would make a nice fit on the program. The chemistry between her and Riley prompted the production company and CBS to hire them as regular panelists. Anyway, now, heck, aside from Bob Barker, they even had Barker's Beauties appear on there as well. Even Betty White's husband, Alan Ludden, who was hosting Password. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, two contestants compete on each episode. On the CBS version, the champion was seated in the upstage, the red circle seat. The challenger, the opponent, was seated in the downstage, which is the green triangle seat. Now, during the time when it was on CBS, it would also get shown in syndication in 1975. The CBS version ran from 73 to 79, where it lasted from 75 to 81 in syndication, and then weekly from 79, which was weekly, and then daily from 79 to 82, where we also had the title of Match Game PM. Let's see. Oh. Now, of course, the main game was played in 2 rounds, and 3 of them were on Match Game PM after the first season. The opponent was given a choice of 2 statements labeled either A or B. Now, Rayburn reads the statement, and the 6 celebrities wrote their answers on index cards. After they finished, the contestant orally gave an answer. Rayburn then asked the contestants one at a time, beginning in the upper left-hand corner of the panel, to respond with their answers. Now, early questions were similar to the NBC version. Every morning, John puts blank on his cereal, which is an example. The questions quickly became more humorous and risky. Frequently, the statements were written with bawdy, double entendre answers in mind. One example was, "Did you catch a glimpse of that girl on the corner? She has the world's biggest blank." Yeah, they play some really funny music and what have you. Frequently, the audience responded appropriately as Rayburn critiqued the contestant's answer. For the world's biggest question, Rayburn might show disdain to an answer such as fingers or bag, and compliment an answer such as rear end or boobs, often also commenting on the audience's approving or disapproving reasons. Sometimes the audience usually groaned or booed when a contestant or celebrity gave a bad or inappropriate answer, whereas they cheered and applied in approval of a good answer. Sometimes they howled out a risky answer even. At other times their reaction was deliberately inappropriate, such as howling at a good answer or applying a risky answer to preserve effect. Yes. Well, sometimes they do come up with answers that are similar. Sometimes, if the answers are similar to close to the answer the contestant gives, then that will be acceptable. Now, and sometimes they do have to censor out some things by putting oops on there. Popular questions feature a character named Dumb Dora or Dumb Donald, not to be confused with the character from Fat Albert, which of course was a character on Fat Albert at the time. Now, these questions often began because Dumb Dora was more popular. Dumb Dora is so dumb, the audience asks, "How dumb is she?" And this expanded to the generalized question form, which was adjective. Alliterative name is so adjective. Or something like that. But anyway, there's other common subjects of questions and what have you. Just so crazy. Oh boy, they were just so much fun. I really did enjoy it. Now, if the contestants had the same score at the end of the game, the scores were reset and the contestants played one tiebreaker question each. Now, whoever had the most celebrities will go on to the to the big round. Let's see, there was the super match where the contestant who matched more celebrities at the end of the game won the game and went on to play the super match, which consisted of the audience match and the head-to-head match segments for additional money. On the CBS version, the winner of the main game won $100. The audience match, now, in this, the contestant was shown a short fill in the blank phrase, for example, tell it to blank. Now, they have to pick 3 celebrities to give an answer. If they pick one, if it's the most popular one, then they got the big one. It goes from 100, 250, 100 to the least to the third one, most popular answer, 250 to the second most popular, and 500 to the top one. But if the contestant failed to match any of them, the round ended immediately and the contestant won nothing. Yes. Let's see. After this, they go to the the head-to-head match. A contestant who won money in the audience match then had the opportunity to win an additional 10 times the amount. Therefore, 5,000, 2,500, or 1,000 by exactly matching their fill-in-the-blank response with one celebrity panelist. Originally, the contestant chose a celebrity. Later on, the celebrity who played this match was determined by a celebrity wheel, which, of course, I'll get to that in a little bit. Let's see. Most people chose Richard Dawson and what have you, but they would pick others as well. In 1978, the producers decided to make the Star Wheel. Now, once they spin the wheel, the contestant has to see where it'll wind up. It was divided into 6 sections, each marked with a different celebrity's name. Once the wheel stopped, the contestant attempted to match with the indicated celebrity. If the wheel did not make at least one complete revolution, the contestant was required to spin again. Anyway, now also each section included several gold stars, which doubled the stakes if the wheel stopped on one of them. The maximum prize was $10,000 on the daytime series and $20,000 on Match Game PM. So apparently this was just so cool. Anyway, after that, in 1982, it ended completely. However, a year later, NBC got back again and paired with a game they had just canceled a few years before this, Hollywood Squares, in the form of the match game Hollywood Squares Hour, which Richard. Well, not, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Sorry. Gene Rayburn would return to host the match game, while Hollywood Squares was now hosted by Sha-Na-Na member John Bowser Bowman. But I'll talk about that in a future episode, okay? Since I have yet to talk about Hollywood Squares. Let's see. But that only lasted one season. You can find the CBS match game and the game I just talked about later. Well, actually on the Buzzer Network. Game Show Network also still airs Match Game as well. In 1990, ABC had not carried a daytime game show since Bargain Hunters in '87, so they decided to do Match Game. A week's worth of pilot episodes were commissioned with Bert Convy, who had just more recently hosted Goodson's Super Password, which had just been canceled in '89 to host. He was also hosting Third Degree as well for his own company, and he had more recently was the first host of Win, Lose, or Draw. So the network agreed to pick up the revival for a summer premiere in 1990. However, producers were forced to find a new host when Convy was diagnosed with a terminal brain tumor in April of 1990. Although original host Gene Rayburn expressed interest in returning, the producers declined. So they picked Ross Shafer, the former host of Fox's Own Late Show and the USA Network dating series Love Me, Love Me Not. Charles Nelson Riley returned as a regular panelist, and Brett Summers appeared as a guest panelist for several weeks. This also included Vicki Lawrence, Sally Struthers, Brad Garrett, and several others. Gene Wood would actually be the announcer, since he originally did the announcing for the match game Hollywood Squares Hour. Now, of course, Johnny Olsen substituted for him on that show. There'd be lots of other people join as well, including on the reboot, including Marsha Wallace, Betty White, Dick Martin, Dolly Martin. I'm not sure if it's any relation. Joanne Worley, E. McClurg, and Jimmy Walker. Now, of course, well, they did add a new thing called Matchup, which was a speed round super match style questions with a celebrity partner of his or her choice. They had 30 seconds to make as many matches as possible for $50 per match. Then they'd go on to the big game and then to the Star Wheel. But unfortunately, the show didn't do well, and well, many ABC stations dropped the show. It was the last daytime game show. In 1998, it was back in syndication, where it had Michael Berger as the host. But however, it only had 5 panelists. I've seen a little bit of it before, but I wasn't too thrilled with that version though. It had been shown on the game show marathon thing CBS did in 2006 with Ricky Lake. There was even a Canadian revival in 2010. More recently, in 2016, ABC got it back again and was hosted by Alec Baldwin. It's part of the Sunday Fun Games block, along with several other games. Now, gameplay was similar to the 70s version. Now, on main episodes, answers that are deemed inappropriate for broadcast are edited out with comical effects like a slide whistle sound effect dubbed over the audible answer in place of the usual bleep sensor. In addition, the answer card in Larry's mouth may be blurred or pixelated. The show did well and was hosted by Alec Baldwin. Unfortunately, just then, more recently, ABC confirmed this past month the series had just been canceled, considering what happened with Baldwin fatally shooting a crew member on the set of the film Rust last October. Oh well. I saw some of that version. It was fun, but there were some bits that I didn't feel too thrilled with, or answers and what have you. So enough said about it. Anyway, I really do like this and what have you. When Match Game first came out, its theme song was a Swingin' Safari, an instrumental tune. And then they did a new theme composed by Score Productions. Later on, for the CBS version, they turned to Score Productions for a music package. A new theme performed by the Midnight Four was composed by Score staff composer Ken Bishel, with a memorable funk guitar intro, and similar elements and instruments from this theme were also used in the numerous thank yous heard when the panel wrote down their answers. Which that was really cool. Now, the music for Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour was composed by Ed Kalehoff, but none of the music from the stage version was used in it. The main theme and several of its cue variations were used on The Price is Right. In 1990, Bishel reorchestrated his 70s theme with new thank yous. The 98 version again used music from Score Productions, and the 2016 revival utilizes Bishel's original theme and thank yous. And that's about it. Well, it's just we couldn't get Match Game back for another season. Consider what happened. They could have found a new host, but they didn't. But hey, they did what they thought was right and what have you. Well, so I think. But anyway, look on the bright side. ABC will still continue to air those games and what have you. So anyway, now you know about Match Game. You can also find full episodes on YouTube. You can find them on Amazon Prime through Buzzer, or if you have the Buzzer network, you can check out Match Game on Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. You can also find it on streaming services like IMDb TV, which is now going to become Amazon Freevee, as well as it's now on Tubi as well. So anyway, I think you'll like Match Game, but if you've seen Match Game, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And Wide World of Game Shows will be back on May 5th when I talk about Blockbusters, another Goodson Tallman produced game. So thank you for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out these other episodes of the Wide World of Game Shows. In the upper left-hand corner is The Price is Right. The upper right-hand corner is the Password series, which I just found out NBC has got a new version coming up, as I had thought they would. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see the previous episode on Name That Tune, which is back with celebrity celebrity players. And the bottom right hand corner is a button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the wide world of game shows, then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching, and next time I'll be bringing to you my anniversary review of Volcano. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.